Hey there, welcome to or welcome back to No Pants Profits. My name is Richard, and yeah, we bring you a lot of travel content. I got some stuff coming up from the Star of the Seas that I'm getting on in 2 days. But I've got a friend of the channel who's literally been around since I think we were at about 2 or 3 thousand subscribers. He's been on the channel before, and I can finally, hopefully, this is all I had cold in the fridge was champagne. Pop open some bubbly champagne and celebrate, because I think he's finally got a path that people are finally starting to pay attention to. So let me jump over and let me introduce you to Rene, the CEO of the former CEO of VerseXR. Let's get that right. You know, we talked about the metaverse back in the day, didn't we? If
That
we're
was
going
one
back,
one hell of a time, bro.
that was one hell of a time, and we were talking about. Oh, where is it? When we were talking about these guys, I think I have one accessible. I'm sure you very much know what's in that bag. No, you've never seen
Actually, I
this bag?
can't tell what the fuck that bag is. No, is that a meta
No,
bag?
no, it's a
Wait,
better than a meta.
is that a Valve bag?
No, I actually have the original. I have the original thing back in my closet back there. I have the original. What's its name? The original one that started it all. But no, this is the
Oh
Apple
my god, you
Vision.
have the Vision.
I mean, yeah, it never comes out of the box, but yes, I have the Vision. It's beautiful. I'm thinking about bringing the Vision on the cruise ship with me, because I made this one video with the Vision once that we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the Vision. It's like, how useful is this if you're just gonna get drunk and order drinks? You know what? It's coming with me on the cruise ship. But
Good,
you
good.
were in the augmented reality, virtual reality, reality space. And then where'd you go after that? I know you started getting into AI after that, but I want to see. Give me a little path of where you went, and you just got recognized. And what was Wall Street Journal or some big publication,
Yeah.
right?
Actually, I got mentioned in several things. Even fucking New York Times even mentioned my name
Yeah.
recently. But the most important one is the San Francisco Standard. They're an article. They're a news-based company out here. They write lots of different articles about different stuff. But they made a little article about me, about how I won 200 different hackathons out here in San Francisco and the
And a
Bay Area,
hackathon is
and
generally,
how
I don't mean to interrupt you, but a hackathon is generally a coding event. And what is something that Renee still cannot do?
I still don't know how to read or write code.
Like,
And I won
if
200
you,
different
I mean,
events.
I know how to read and write code very basically, but like, if you have a syntax error, do you just put that error into AI and tell it to fix it, or it writes clean
Well,
code?
basically, yeah. I can do that, but like with the tools that are now available, like you don't really have to do that much, because like they'll go and automatically take that type of stuff. More low, you need to go and figure out like what's the where is the payload going, and like how can you go and debug that kind of stuff, and figuring out high level what's being targeted, what can you arrange, and then like how can you move it around.
So what I want to talk about today is Renee, who we've been talking to for a while. I'm gonna pop this, and why I'm gonna pop this champagne. Number one, like I said, it's the only thing I have that's actually cold. Number one, and number two, I think you are probably the number one referenced endpoint now to the word vibe coding in the media. Am I correct?
I love it.
I think
I love
that's
it.
why we're popping the champagne. Hopefully, it doesn't bust the camera. Oh, come on,
Fuck.
come on. There's literally a teleprompter that I've never used because I don't use scripts. But I have a teleprompter and a gigantic monitor that Renee has seen pictures of before that is very expensive. And what do I decide to do right in front of both of them? Open a bottle of champagne. But oh, there we go.
I'm scared.
And
to hear,
the
honestly.
cork went nowhere. Do you want to describe vibe coding, and maybe you can throw on the screen a little bit about that article, and then I want to get into
Sure.
what you've done with vibe coding. I think that's kind of the really cool thing is you went from putting stuff in metaverses to vibe coding. I think is the am I correct?
Yeah, that's
You're in the
basically what
VR
it is.
world. This is the San Francisco Standard, which is kind of a it's a correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going based on knowledge. It's kind of a techier version of the New York Times, a more tech focused version of the New York Times.
I mean, everything San Francisco is more techier, because like we just have everything. We have 60% of the unicorns in the entire world here in the Bay Area alone. So like it's just one of those type of things. But yeah, I
Wow,
love it.
wow. I mean, so what you're saying
Um,
is you and your girlfriend can always find a third to join. You have 60% of the unicorns in the world there.
no comment.
No comment. All right, so let's talk about vibe coding, and then we'll talk about kind of what you're doing with that.
Yeah, yeah. So vibe coding, what that is, and like I started doing this, and I remember way back whenever I was doing this, people were like, "You're doing something. There's not even a word for it." I'm like, "All right, well, I don't give a fuck
I
about
know
that."
they didn't define it.
But
You are the definition of vibe coding. Like if I Google vibe coding, you come up.
that's great. I love it.
And
And the
I even
best
did
part
it
is,
when
so
I was on a cruise ship last week. I want to tell you something kind of really cool.
okay,
So on the ship I was on last week, it's something you really don't have access to unless you got a VRM or like a virtual machine or something like that. I went to a computer that I programmed to wipe every time. Like it keeps no information, no cookies, completely reformats in every book. I put in vibe coding and you were the first hit. You know that's kind of hard to do on Google
wow,
because Google remembers your IP and everything like that. So like obviously it'll know that I've looked at you before, you've looked at yourself before from IPs and it'll bring it up. But I went from a internet connection that it's very likely no one has ever Googled the word vibe coding on a cruise ship before. That's just not something someone Googles on a cruise ship. Yeah, that's
crazy. Well, thank you so much
just
for
go to
letting me know
news.
about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
shoot. Well, I mean, vibe coding. So, like, all that vibe coding really is just you're using AI to build code.
Yeah,
At the
I was doing
time,
some vibe coding this morning. I was working on a stock trading bot, and I said, it was like, okay, where do you want the stock to enter? And I said, just enter where the enter if the current price of the stock is below the opening price for the day. Now I didn't have to write any code.
fantastic,
I literally just wrote down enter if it's below the opening price for the day. Exit,
amazing.
and then I'd
What
write
tool did
exit
you
if I
use?
lose. Yeah, I know I'm vibe coding now. What the fuck? I'm like, if I lose 2% or I make 5%, exit the trade. And then literally, this is what I did this morning, and I'll tell you, and Renee, you'll know this. You know when you get going and like, so I got back from the movies. We were texting. I was playing roulette at the movies last night. I get back at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I vibe coded till 10:30 in the morning this morning because I built the code, and then I wanted to wait for the friggin' and I'm gonna have this on the channel soon. What I'm talking about, I wanted to wait for the stock market to open because this wouldn't execute code pre-market. So I had to wait till 9:30 in the morning, and then it all executed. So and I've even signed up for some. I know you are the vibe coding person, but just to kind of understand the market more, vibe coding is now showing up all over Facebook ads for me. So I've signed up for a couple vibe coding classes and stuff like that that are offered virtually to kind of see what's going on. And you
Damn,
introed
you
me
should
with
just ask
you
me.
introed me with Replit. Like I'll show you a website. If you open up, I'm going to show you a website I built vibe coding.
Sure.
It's BYE carnival.com. It should still
Oh,
work.
Jesus Christ. You're so
Yeah, no.
gross. Oh yeah,
This
I
is
love
complete. This is, and then you can click on, upgrade my cruise life, or I'm happy with Carnival, and you just choose your cruise line in that drop down box. It coded all this for me, and then I say, yeah, I love
Good.
casino, and then I actually have a database that and
Does
and
it help you?
I haven't even launched this yet, and that was all done in Replit in about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. That was done in Replit. I
Isn't
didn't do
that
any of that.
fantastic?
So I haven't launched it yet because I got a cruise or two I want to do more before I anger someone. But yeah, because if you see, even it wrote all that. It goes if I'm happy with Carnival. So what I love is these AIs have a thought process and a thought system and everything like that. But you didn't take vibe coding and build websites. You went another way based on some conversations we had back in the day. I was telling you the most painful process I had was with a company called Intercom. Back when we were talking privately. I'm not trying. I'm just talking about customer service is one of the biggest things for tech startups nowadays, isn't it? You know,
Well, what I'm really figuring out is tech people suck at sales, and they suck way
and
more
customer
at
service.
actually like, yeah. And when you mentioned to me about like intercom, I started thinking more. I'm like, well, yeah, my product literally is intercom. I just didn't say that. But like as I started thinking more, I was like, you know what? I can really double down into this. I can go and start like really taking over that customer support role.
So yeah, you were doing you were doing vibe coding for a while, and then vibe coding was
Yeah.
what was your first vibe coding projects that you won an award on, that you won a hackathon
Yeah,
on?
I would love to show that actually. So on my on my
Because I want to talk about the
the name of
evolution,
my
and then we'll talk about what you're doing now. 29-year-old AI
So
entrepreneur, 200 plus hackathons,
yeah,
and look, let's be honest. In San Francisco, if you throw a fucking quarter, you find a hackathon. But I mean,
that's true.
but you actually
But
played
yeah,
some big boy hackathons. You've talked to friggin' FBI, CIA agents. Yes, I'm saying like I went to an event with you where look, let's be honest with you. Again, we're not talking money, but pretty much in San Francisco, you know how like they're like in California or New York, you're a struggling actor. In San Francisco, you're a struggling startup founder.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. And I
But
love it
show
because
me your
like
first project that came in a hackathon that actually like placed or did something to give me an idea.
fantastic. It's actually this very left one, lo-fi for all. So basically what happened was like back whenever I first started 2 years ago, trying to do this shit, actually a
And
little
this
bit
was
like two
like
and a half
right when
years
you were
ago.
winding down Verse XR, right? Or
Actually, yes, that was right. Like it was about 2 months afterwards. I winded down Verse XR. I built out a lot of shit. I wanted to show off. I ended up teaching a lot of classes on how to do like coding with AI. There was no word for it. And then eventually I was like, well, I need to go improve myself. So I wanted to go to events. I went to an event. This was my very first event that I went to. I got second place at Red Point Ventures, which is a very large company.
it's a VC
At
firm,
the
right?
AGI house. Yeah,
Venture
I believe
capital.
so. And they had like all these different people there, a lot of different companies there. You had Chroma there, you had all kinds of companies. And what I did is I made a very simple project. At the time I was doing music. I was like, hey, look, I want to take my music and make it lo-fi
Speaking of that, just for the
because
channel to know,
sure,
Rene is the guy who you might not know. I released the Sucky the Turtle song. If you remember that from back in the day, that's around from the same time when you were playing with music. You remember Sucky the Turtle? He loves you.
I love Sucky the Turtle.
But go
But
on.
yeah, it was great. So what ended up happening is I went to this event. I participated. Also, all the hackathons I participate in are solo. All hackathons have options for multiple people in a team.
So
I've always
you could
opted.
have 50 people doing a project in some hackathons. I'm just saying. You could have a whole team.
I mean, technically yes, but yeah. So I though was realizing like, look, having all these people in my team really is going to slow me down in like the thought process. If I can get really good at the thought process and just figure out how to use AI to build whatever I'm trying to build, I can do something really cool here. So I
Because
started
you said,
building.
and
I started building.
I want to interject. You said one of the things I said to you at a point, probably the last time we talked, is I said, Rene, look, I still don't get it. And I know your answer to this. I said, you know, why aren't these big boys, the Google, the Apple, all those going to come in and do it? What do you have that they don't have? And you said creativity and no bullshit. I think that's what you said. You don't have any of the bureaucratic bullshit, and you have the creativity. Correct?
Yes, that's mostly what I believe is like my biggest edge, outside of me being Rene fucking Turcios.
All right. So yeah. So lo-fi for what did that do? What did that site? What did that
Yeah, so
code
it
snippet
was
do?
very simple product. All you did is I knew as a musician that people are lazy. People don't want to go and actually figure out how to go and like make new music. I was thinking more like a hyper core thing, but then I started thinking like, well, a lot of people know about lo-fi. What if I just make it to where you can just create a lo-fi song, a song you already made? So I made plenty of music. Put in my music, I had a lo-fi version of it. That was beautiful to me because I wanted something like that. And then at the time, that was my entire vibe. And I ended up getting second place that night. And I remember me asking my friend, "Hey, RJ, we should just leave. I don't think I'm gonna do anything here." And he was like, "No, we're gonna stay." And that was 30 minutes prior to me getting second place. And I will
That's
never
crazy.
forget that
So
moment.
what was Data Coach? Are these other all things you vibe coded?
These every single product I built is vibe coded. This product is actually so there's very few products that I do work with friends, and some of those friends are people that I've also trained how to vibe code. This is one of those projects, and
Oh, the Snapchat filters. I
basically,
remember you were playing with that in the Verse XR days. The Snapchat filter of you
yeah,
dancing around. That's kind of the
yeah, many
origins.
different things. But one of the coolest part is I also learned how to go and do reinforced learning on AI development and how to go and take stuff, create filters that not filters, but like AI models that understand like how things are doing, like if people are playing basketball or whatever. And in this case, we made a Snapchat filter that if you go and use it, it can analyze different people on the ball court, and then you can take that into data code, and then it helps understand better. Like, hey, these people are more better chance of winning and stuff because of these type of plays that they're doing. So truly, it was at the end of the day like a almost like a gambling assistant. but it was really just helping us understand more about like
Rene, you gotta
if
make
you're
one
in,
of these for the stock market or the forex
hey,
market.
every other person's gonna do that. I don't want to compete with all those people.
But also, so then you
And
have one that's the NAB. I know that. That's the National Association of Broadcasters, correct? Is that what NAB is?
uh, yeah, I know that, but why did you bring that up?
I don't
Oh,
know.
NAB. Oh, the NAB show. Fuck. Yeah. So I was like, where are you talking about? Yeah.
I see it.
So
Your
that
mouse
I
was
forgot.
over it.
Yeah. This is my like one of my favorite things because we won this 2 years in a row, and we won
Interesting.
this year too. So basically, this is my friend Rene. I'm also named Rene,
That's
and
Fat
we
Renee.
also know
Fatter
each
Renee.
other.
Fatter Renee.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but we know each other because my name is Rene and his name is Rene, and we're like, hey, we don't know many Renes. Let's just be friends. That actually happens with me and other Renes too. It's very rare. Like, oh, you're a Rene. Let's be friends. So this case, it was phenomenal. We wanted to first go and take the concept at the time, 2024. We were just like, hey, take an AI chatbot. If you ask it to build, like, let's say a scene, a spherical I mean a room full of like orange spherical light and like it's an ice cream shop or whatever, take that, create image. When it creates the image, it'll automatically go and create rather video or 3D object. Once it takes
And
that,
this
it
is
goes and
before
uses that.
ChatGPT had all that built in, and Grok had that all built in.
Way before that. Yeah, I love this shit. I was like, people don't know this shit. I built that out, and then they were able to go and like do more. And the great part about this is we ended up winning this year also, which is like a much more expanded one. Are you familiar with the Mandalorian?
Yes, I've actually been on the set.
Oh, so you've been on the
I know
set.
the
So you've seen
wall.
that
Of course, I
giant
know the
screen.
wall. I
You
have
know the
been to the
wall.
studio where they shot Mandalorian. I don't know
So
if I
you
can
know how it's
legally.
all done
I
in
don't know.
3D,
I
right?
mean, I guess I can legally say it now because Disney Plus has described how they done it. But I've been on the set. You probably haven't been on the set. I've been on the set.
I haven't. I've known for many years, but I know about that wall, and I know about that wall how it's done in 3D, and I also
Yeah.
know that like the exact same thing what we did is we can make it to where you could use AI build something, and it'll take it and pop it into a 3D atmosphere.
I mean,
So
like
you
I
could
think it was
film
wild.
any type.
So I was on a cruise ship last week, and they have a production show called Arty, which is about like art coming to life and stuff like that. And they have this giant video wall that's like pretty big, and they spent 1.2 million dollars on the graphics just for that wall for a 40-minute show. But what's wild
Oh,
is
they're
because
expensive.
yeah, but because they did it
Very
before
expensive.
AI, before any of that existed. You know, I'm talking like a sphere-sized wall. I mean, not as tall, but
Yeah.
like wide. So let's just take a look at some of the other stuff and like, how did you get into what you're doing now with AI agents? I just want to just scroll down again. I'll have those links there. You know, replicated crowd favorite award,
There's
agencies.
actually a lot more. The thing is, I way early in my career, I get really bored, and then like I started winning so many that like I don't care about these anymore. There's so many different like resources that you can just find and like, oh, Renee won this and this and this and this and this. I just stopped caring about them because like at the end of the day, for me, they were just another accolade. I was chasing jobs at the time. I was trying to
You
figure
were
out
chasing working for
what
someone else. You were trying to build a resume to go to Google as a vibe coder, you know, and not
that's
get laughed out of
correct.
the room. Because if you go to these
That's
companies,
correct.
Google, Microsoft, anyone like that, they're gonna go, oh, what the fuck is vibe coding? Again, vibe coding
In
got
fact,
defined. Vibe coding got defined by the popular media, not the nerds. Literally, when was that article made? He's the hackathon thing. It's like
uh,
2 months old, right?
oh,
Not
this
even.
yeah, this is like a fuck. This no. This is like earlier, like newer than this. This is
It was July. It was up a little
okay.
bit.
I can't. It was like a month ago. Like
Really? Yeah, yeah,
it's very recent.
yeah.
But yeah, so like it's cool though.
So let's talk about kind
I'm
of
very happy.
let's talk about why I finally popped this bottle of champagne. Because look, when we talked about Verse XR, you know, I was like, I don't get it. And you know, when we finally
And
put
that's fair,
practical,
bro.
no, but I'm saying what you've finally done is you've put in practical use into play. So it
Well,
is
yes.
agencies. Now you've made a business case, not a let me just go from one one VR system to another. I'm not making fun of the past. The past is the past. It's how you
I,
learn.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I did have to learn about that and like figure out like how to make money on that and why I wasn't going to be the one to make it.
So this is your main
But the
page.
great part,
Go ahead.
yes,
Go ahead. The great part.
yeah, this is the main thing. Agencies is
No,
an
but what were you
agent.
trying to say? Like you learned from all that in the past? We're gonna go to agencies in a second. You were saying
Oh,
something.
sorry,
I'm
sorry.
sorry I cut you off.
No, it's okay. I have bad memory too.
No, okay.
No, I
I'm a
did
half bottle
learn
of
a
wine
lot
deep.
from. I understand, brother. I'm like half a pint down or a little bit further than that. But basically the big deal is that like whenever I was doing VerseXR, I had to learn a lot of stuff. And whenever I closed it, I had to learn 10x more. Once I started understanding how businesses work, started going to these hackathons, winning them, and understanding really truly what people's limits were, what my limits were, and what unique things there were. Because you talked to me in the past about like, hey Rene, like other people can do this shit. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Other people can do this shit. I
But they're
didn't
not doing it.
understand. Well, I mean, that's a different that we're going into that. But like at the time for me, I was thinking like, yeah, anyone can do what I'm doing. I've barely been in this thing for like half a year or whatever at the time.
So
So yeah,
was this
why
whole
couldn't
website built by AI? Was this all built in Replit?
100% built with AI? It's all built with Replit. I built all my products that for me and for other clients, they've all been built with AI.
And I'll let
And the
people
greatest
know.
part
I'll
is
let people know. Zoom is being stupid here, but I assume this image is very smooth on your side. It's just being Zoom.
oh
It's just
yes,
being
it's a
Zoom. I'm just
very
letting people know. No, no, that's fine.
gotcha. Yeah, there's a very smooth 3D image going through, and I'm very sad now that you can't see it.
So
But it's cool. But
what is agencies.com? Not what was it, because it evolved a lot, and I think our conversation really pushed it along when I said, hey, look, you asked me, hey, Rich, when you were in tech and you were working for someone else in tech, I was the head of customer support for a tech company. And I mean, the biggest pain in my butt is intercom and how much I was paying intercom every month for, 10 agent seats. I mean, it's
mhm.
ridiculous. It's a multiple that's far above your cost here. So I mean,
Yeah,
so what are
that
AI
was
agents? What
yeah.
is
So
agencies? Go ahead.
AI agents are, in essence is just a large language model that has access to tools and it can do something on your behalf. Everyone can use an AI agent to gather information, but not everyone can use an AI agent to do work. Whenever I started building AI agents for the past 2 years, I really wanted to dig deep about what was a hard problem that no one was solving. And the biggest problem that I could figure was, and this is kind of weird sounding, is that if you have an AI on your phone or your computer, and I have them on mine, they can't chat with each other. And I thought for some reason that was the biggest deal because whenever I was doing with VerseXR, I
Right,
also understood.
was about the VR environments, was about you being able to go into a Facebook VR environment in Minecraft or with your so the idea
Yeah,
is allowing the different AIs to talk to each other.
yes. And I whenever I realized this, I thought at first I was being stupid, which is at first I did
And
not
when
make
you were
this a company.
starting, I want to give people a timeline. When you were thinking about this is before ChatGPT had real time data. Correct? It's when ChatGPT
Um,
had the older data.
I would say this was well, yes, this is
That's what
definitely
I mean. Like
GPT
when they cut
3.5
it
days.
off, it wasn't live. Now
Yeah,
ChatGPT can go
no,
out
not live.
and scrape live, and Grok can go
Yeah,
out and scrape live.
this was way back in the day, and those days you had to really be able to figure out your own kind of shit. But the thing is, I really like always was like, why can't our AIs talk to each other? And whenever I was trying to figure out a way to like make that a company, I realized there was no monetization directly from that. So what I realized is you need to have the infrastructure behind it. If you have the infrastructure and you can make it to where it's not a cost, whatever you already have, it's a multiplier by dramatically more because you can go and now start allowing a network effect across all your platforms. And what I decided on building
So
is
this is
an
kind of an
AI
evolution on. I'm talking to people who know this well because I was literally playing with this morning. This is an evolution on webhooks, essentially.
way further.
I'm saying, but it's
I
an
believe it
evolution on webhooks.
It is. It's an evolution to where even the new AI, I mean, sorry, the new age of ads. And let me explain that further. Right now, if I go into my chatbot and I go and talk to this, and this is me like really jumping the gun here,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna just fucking do it.
Go ahead.
If I go and ask any agent on my website, hey, find me info about.
And all an agent is it's interacting with a large language model. It's the same thing as if you were to go ahead and ask ChatGPT something or ask one of those like that something, correct? I'm just trying
An
to.
agent is something that can go and use a tool to do more. It can interact with other agents if you make it that way. So I created a framework that allowed agents to communicate with others. This agent just went to ask, hey, can you tell me information about agencies? Fantastic. This is everything about agencies. Let me answer everything about you. We have a new layer for ads. Because if you imagine this, if you imagine someone that's like, hey, I sell shoes, I sell green shoes, I sell Elvis Presley shoes. And I come through and like, hey, look, AI, go look for Elvis Presley shoes green. I have $65. Goes through all the websites. They're gonna just scrape. No one cares about that shit. But
Right.
when it goes to your website, it says like, "Hey, look, I have Elvis Presley shoes. I sell them. They're $70." It can create a deal. It can create a sale. If you already said like, "Hey, look, lowest price deal I'm willing to take on this is $63.99," and the person's like, "Hey, look, I only have $65." Close the sale. Close the sale. Make a payment and allow that
So you're saying
happen.
this is for like Shopify sites and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm planning on doing way
But where are
much
you
bigger
at? Where
than
are you
Shopify.
at right now? You said you have a chatbot as your main thing, correct? Right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. In
So
fact, if
show
you
me
look
your
in the bottom
chatbot.
right,
Let's. How can I
you have
help
a
you?
little chat. It's very simplistic. And the best part is you don't have to do very much. If you have a website already and you have stuff about your company, you can build your agent, add information about it, embed it to your website under 5 minutes.
And you add that
And when you
information
do
in
that,
natural language, correct? You don't have to add it in code. You add it in your
you can add it.
FAQ. You can
Yeah,
add it. You can add it
yes,
in. You can add it for your SOP documents you give to your employees. Yeah. So like if you
absolutely.
like
Absolutely.
we were
In fact,
talking about something before we started recording because we always chat before we started recording, and you said what AI agents are really doing is they're replacing your employees as a knowledge base essentially.
mhm, absolutely. Yep, that is 100% correct. And the greatest part is that like a lot of these things, if they're already like popped in and stuff and they're like already populated into your product, like you can go and just like drop files in,
You can
add a
drop an instruction
URL.
manual.
Correct. You can drop docs, txt, a lot of different files. In fact, you can even add just your URL. Let's say you don't even have these things, you just have a website.
Right. So
Fantastic.
let's say
Pop in
you're
your
making an
URL.
agent. Let's pretend for a minute that you are. Let's make a
Sure.
new agent so we don't sell you any of your stuff. Apple.com, Apple support. Just open up Apple support and have your agent crawl Apple support, and then it should be able to answer all the Apple support questions technically, right?
That is correct if you go and just scrape that. So like let me go in real quick. Hold on,
I
if
don't want to
they
mess up
allow
anything
me.
you got there. Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Let me go in
Google Apple
Apple
support.
or
Just trying to show people with a big company how you go about doing that. And you could
copy,
just copy that.
paste, add URL, add content. All right, now it's scraping it. Now it's adding it. It's gonna take a moment
Oh
because like
yeah,
it's literally just starting it.
right.
But
It's a
once it's
huge
done,
website, but that's you can do that with a document for a much smaller site or something like
of
that, or
course,
any website.
of course.
And what
And the
what
best
you're
part is
targeting, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're targeting startups for right now for startups and SMBs.
I'm yes, that is correct. That is exactly what I'm targeting, and it's extremely easy to do it. And what I'm thinking is that if I can go and help one of the, are you familiar with a man named Alex Ramosi?
What does he do? He's one of those. No, I guess I'm not.
All right, cool. He's an internet marketer. He recently, just this past week, he sold $90 million in books. Basically, he got a bunch of people to convince to go and buy a bunch of like 24K packages and then donate like 200 books to a bunch of people. Fantastic. Well, the big thing about him is for the past several years, what he's mainly been doing is he's been building a brand, in fact, where he didn't sell anything up front. He made it to where you can get all these people onboarded, show them how like to go into it. They trusted him, they grew money, they became bigger. as he grew over the past 3 years, he went and started going, getting all these other people in like influence and stuff. Eventually he came to this offer this year, this month, where he was like, hey, look, we're gonna sell all these books, there's gonna be all these expenses. All of his people he's trained already are making money. So those people that are making money are also able to go and just like, hey, look, I'll just afford the $24,000. There clearly lots of money and a value like around this. He was able to go and scale this. I'm doing something slightly similar in a sense where I'm not donating books or anything, but I'm making it to where like I'm giving lots of value to lots of people. I'm doing lots of vibe coding sessions and lots of different things in the area where we're
But that's
onboarding
almost,
lots of
and you
people.
know this because you're an Apple user. That's the Apple philosophy. Don't sell to someone. Give them. I mean, the Apple created this. Anybody who says that Apple's not the one who created it is wrong. It's as long as people love your product and know your product and have the chance to interact with your product, they're eventually going to buy when their means have the ability for them to buy it or they have a reason to buy it. Correct?
I'm so glad you said that because I didn't know that. In fact, I've been called numerous times by many, many people the next Steve Jobs. And I never knew that comment you said.
Yeah, that came from Apple. That came from Apple.
Well,
Yeah.
I believe in it too. And that's crazy because like I think it's the most truest statement. If you can go and
I mean,
give
look,
the value to
I
where you can
ran
get
I
good.
ran a third-party Apple store for many years, and I never sold a single product to someone. I would tell them the benefits of the product. I would let them play with the product, and then they'd come begging me to buy the product. That seems to be
Yeah.
the metrics of what you're doing.
Well, it makes sense because if you go and show someone that like, hey, look, here's this thing, this is what you do it for, and it works better than anyone else, and you can go and scale that, who the fuck wouldn't want to pay? If you can
Yeah.
go and help them make money or save money or do something that makes their life more value, they're gonna pay hand over fist of every single dollar they have.
So
And
essentially, what
I
we're
don't
talking
have
about for this right now are
sure,
correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to see,
sure, sure.
your main clients for this because we got about 5 more minutes here. Your main
Yes,
clients that
buddy.
you're looking for what you're selling as of right now are essentially tech based companies, not full tech companies, that have a landing page with an offer on it, correct? And I mean, I could be wrong
I
with they're
wouldn't
trying to
say
sell
this would
something.
be it because they wouldn't just have a landing page. They would have so much more. In fact, what I
Right,
would
but
say
then
is more
this your
by
agent's going to go on a landing page essentially. I know they'll have more than that, but I'm
of
saying,
course, of course. But those people will try to go and do everything more for themselves. Those are not my people. The people that I'm looking for are people that want to go fast, solopreneurs, people that have been laid off, people that are that want to learn vibe coding, how to change their life. Maybe they just, got laid off from Walmart or whatever, and they're like, man, I need to figure out how to make money. And they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe I want to make websites. And they learn like, hey, look, I can learn vibe coding. I can learn build a website in like 30 minutes. I use AI, I build this stuff. I start scaling it. Now I'm going to need more things. I have money. I'm making profits on all this shit, but I need customer support. I need someone to go and answer my questions. I need a ticket system that goes in and like start assigning this thing to different people. That's where agencies come in. We help the solopreneur. We are the solution to the one person company and much more.
so you are the reason they don't need to hire actual customer support agents in third world countries. As weird as it sounds, we get political, but
You
in the
can
end of
say
the
it that
day,
way.
in the end of the day,
You can say
I
it
can
that way.
hire a virtual assistant in the Philippines, and we're still not worrying about tariffs on AI stuff yet. It's just virtual.
Technically, you're correct. But the other part about it is that I would have never been able to afford that person in the Philippines. So now
Right?
I can take the power into my own hands. And once I do that, the game is mine.
So they can go to so anybody who wants to know more about this can go to agencies.co. But essentially, what you're looking for is you're looking for the solopreneur tech founder right now. I mean, maybe it'll eventually go
They
out
don't
to.
have to be tech founders. They don't
Could
have
I
to be
mean,
a
would
tech
this
founder.
work on
They
a
have to be
restaurant?
someone that wants to
Would
build
this work
business.
on a
Yes,
restaurant?
absolutely. Absolutely. If you go and build, let's say you're like someone that's like, hey, look, I want to go and start building my you okay, let's say you build like you already have a built website on WordPress or whatever. Copy it, paste it onto your website. Now you have a chatbot that can go and answer all that shit. If you do want to do a little bit further and you can say like, hey, look, I am gonna want to learn how to use vibe coding so I can just code some stuff. Even though I don't know how to read or write code, I'm just gonna do that. Fantastic. Because now as you build your other shit, I already have these tools that will help give you everything you need to scale yourself to the next level.
And your tools will also scale with that founder. You know, you have an entry level plan with a certain number of credits and different things like that as well,
Of
correct?
course, once you start, you get 100 credits. If you want to go further, cool, pay $20, get 2,000 credits. If you want more credit, there's a lot of credit packs. And if you're making more than $1 million, cool, pay $500 a month plus extra credits. That's it. Very simple. And the great part is, we are going to be the Adobe of all this shit, where you don't just go and
Subscription
buy one product.
model. The world
You're
loves
not going to just
subscription
buy
models.
one product. You buy a subscription, and this will get access to everything. And the tokens are used on every single thing. So you don't have to worry about all this other shit, and you get access to a lot of free stuff that will immediately make you 10x stronger.
I'm gonna
But
have
we
you
are
stop
gonna
the
go and
screen
make it
share
to
so we
where-
can wrap up real quick, Renee.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to learn more about agencies, you can definitely check out Renee's website. And like I said, I've almost finished with my bottle of the hell is this? Bubbly sangria. Renee already took down some vodka before we chatted, but he's on the West Coast. I'm on the
Yeah,
East
yeah.
Coast.
That's why I'm acting a little bit more crazy, because I'm right now can't even feel my face, so it's pretty great.
You're acting a little bit more crazy. So you got any? What do we have? We have 1 minute left. Anything else you want to plug or anything like that? There, I'm gonna throw this up tomorrow so everyone can see it.
Yeah, well, the only thing I really want to go and mention is that, like, I'm having a ton of fun, and like the only thing left is my shirt.
Uh-oh. And your Labubu's. I see Renee's Labubu's. This is Richard and Renee, the serial solopreneur, correct? Is that the right things?
I'm just a guy.
He's just a guy. But now he's got
That's what-
coverage. And he's a vibe coder. And like Renee said, when you wear no pants, the only thing you have left to lose is your shirt. Have a great one. Bye, everyone.